Hi again guys, and welcome back to our channel. It is another day in Alberta, Canada, and I am still in self-isolation because of the So like a lot of the world, I found myself with a lot of extra time on our hands, and I've been wanting to go back on some of our old travel footage from a few months ago and put together some more helpful travel guides for you guys. The last video we put out was our top Egypt travel tips, so today I actually want to talk about the best places to visit in Egypt. Now these were our favorite places that we visited in Egypt. There are so many that I'm sure that we missed that we didn't get to, because to see all the amazing things that you can see in Egypt would probably take years, and unfortunately we were only there for 3.5 weeks, but in that time we saw a lot of amazing things. So here are some of the places that I think you guys should look out for when you make your way over to Egypt. And before I start, I do want to mention that a lot of these sites I'm about to describe are actually included in a lot of Egyptian tours or Nile River cruises, which is a very, very popular way to get around Egypt. So if you're doing one of those, you might want to check your itinerary and see what's included. If you're traveling Egypt on your own, then be on the lookout for these sites as well. All right, we'll start with number 1, Cairo. This is the first stop on our week-and-a-half, 2-week Egypt adventure, Cairo. It's impossible to visit Egypt and skip its capital city. Cairo is the largest Arabic city and famous for its architecture. If you're a photographer or a history buff, Cairo is a must-see, particularly if you are in any way interested in the history of the ancient world. It may be a chaotic mess, but it's one that can't be missed. Located near Cairo and the remains of the ancient city of Memphis is Saggara. Saggara served as a large cemetery complex. The area contains several pyramids and large tombs. The most famous is the Step Pyramid of Djoser, which is regarded as Egypt's first large stone structure. To this day, routine excavations are revealing new discoveries, including animal mummies, rare burial masks, and most recently, 2,000 mummies of noblemen.
We just made it to Cairo, and check out what is behind us.
Obviously, you can't visit Cairo and not head to the pyramids. The pyramids of Giza are easily among one of the best things to see in Egypt and have been an icon for the country for years. It's easy to get to the pyramids yourself, but to hear all the stories and get the information, it's best to hire a guide for the day. Camel rides are also available to you, and you will 100% get asked if you want one. We declined the camel ride as the camels looked like they were in very poor condition. It's also possible to go inside the Pyramid of Khufu for an extra ticket. However, if you get claustrophobic, I would suggest avoiding it. It's extremely hot, humid, and tight. Make sure to see the Sphinx before leaving. It's a long walk or a short drive away from the main pyramid complex, but well worth a stop and photo opportunity. Luxor is a must-see for Egyptology enthusiasts or anyone who just loves a good historical site. Luxor is a city on the banks of the Nile, known for being the site of the ancient city of Thebes, the pharaoh's seat of power during their reign. Our first stop is in Luxor at the ancient temple of Karnak. Karnak and Luxor Temple are the main sights to see here. They are two massive surviving structures from the Golden Age of Thebes. For those who like tombs, royal burial sites at the Valley of Kings and the Valley of Queens are also in the area.
So first impressions, we just walked in through the gate, and it is so much bigger and more grand in person than I ever would have guessed. Like, these are massive and they tower over us.
This site is so amazing. I never thought that this would be so grand. It's definitely a place that you have to come to if you're in Luxor. Aswan was one of our favorite stops in Egypt. We just wish we had more time there. There are a lot of archaeological sites to see in Aswan, including the Temple of Philae, one of the last structures built in the classical Egyptian style, and also one of the last to worship Isis. It's also where Africans of Nubian descent primarily live, and there are some great Nubian sites and food to try here. I highly recommend taking a cruise up or down the Nile. We were able to hit many of the sites off on this list on our Nile River cruise with the steamship Sudan. A Nile River cruise can be a great way to see all that Egypt has to offer between Luxor and Aswan, and there's no better feeling than watching the sun go down on the banks of the Nile from the actual Nile River. The ship we went on has to be one of the most unique ships in all of Egypt. The SS Sudan is the most luxurious way to cruise the Nile. This ship is over 100 years old, and between 1922 and 1935 it enjoyed the golden age of Nile River cruising. It's one of the last steamers left on the Nile and a very, very unique way to see Egypt.
The Sudan used to be the steamship for King Farouk, who was the ruler of Egypt back in the 1920s and then in the 1950s up until they had their revolution.
We can't blame anyone for wanting to hit the Egyptian beaches. They are beautiful. Hurgada is a beachside resort town along the Red Sea coast, famed for its world-renowned scuba diving. Less than an hour away from Hurgada is Soma Bay. Soma Bay is a coastal resort area tucked away on its own peninsula. It's where you'll find honeymooners, families, and passionate divers. I think it's one of the best places in Egypt to go after you are done exploring the ancient ruins and in need of some beach time. If you're a diver, this is an absolute must. The Red Sea has some of the best diving in the entire world.
The water here is super clear and super blue. It's beautiful. It actually reminds me like the Maldives or something. The Red Sea is so incredible.
While many ruined temples in Egypt are just ruins, the Temple of Edfu is one of the most preserved structures in the entire country. The site contains statues, busts, and wall carvings of Egyptian gods. There are even regional specific structures here, such as the Nilometer, a structure to measure the clarity and water level of the Nile River during its flooding season.
So this temple, they told us, is the most complete temple in all of Egypt. It is so cool. I think the Greeks came in and made it complete from what we were gathering.
It was made in the Greek time?
Yeah, made in the Greek time. It is very complete. It's not completely on the tourist trail. I mean, it's a little bit busy, but not too bad right now. It's a really awesome site to go see.
I mentioned the Valley of the Queens briefly when talking about Luxor. Most people only go to the Valley of the Kings but skip the Valley of the Queens, which is a huge mistake in my opinion. This is where the wives of the pharaohs will be buried. The earliest tomb carved here is thought to be that of the wife of Ramses I, and perhaps the best known tomb is that of Nefertari, Ramses III's favorite queen. Her tomb is one of the most amazing places I've ever seen. The colors are incredible and look like they've been painted yesterday. The Temple of Abydos is usually skipped on many tours, but it shouldn't be. This temple is part of a larger complex, which is the Temple of Seti I. The temple was dedicated to Seti as well as early pharaohs, and there is a wall within the temple of which are carved the names of the kings and pharaohs recognized by Seti. The Dendera temple complex was definitely my favorite temple complex in all of Egypt. It's one of the country's best preserved temple complexes. A site of human habitation as far back as 1500 BC, this was likely an oasis because of its location on the banks of the Nile River. It's simply beautiful on the inside and out and is a must-see when visiting Egypt. Now I know there's a lot of awesome places in Egypt that I missed on this list. These are just some of my favorite places that you should visit in Egypt, and a lot of them are very, very well known and are likely going to be included on any tour that you want, but just keep a lookout for all of them. I just can't even believe that some of these sites were being built thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. It's all incredible. Egypt really is an awesome place to go travel. I highly recommend going there for your next trip. I can't believe that we've been putting off visiting for so long, but after just going last year, I'm so happy we finally made it happen. You will not regret going. If you guys are looking for more travel tips on Egypt, make sure to check out the description in this video and you'll be able to see some of the blog posts we've written about Egypt right on our website. Or if you have any questions, just make sure to leave a comment.